Good afternoon. My name is John with the Pine Tree. I have the great pleasure of being in Leslie Davis's office here at the Government Center. Now, this is one of our little candidate chats. Now, this is just to let people know, kind of being, since we cover county government, we kind of feel like we know everybody because we're kind of creatures of the same places and every week to week. But for a lot of people that don't get the benefit of going to the board meetings and the things like that, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Okay, well, I have worked and lived in Calaveras County for the last 10 years.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not a lifelong resident because my father was a career Marine.
Ah.
So we moved around quite a bit, but once my husband and I found Calaveras, we moved here and we've been here ever since. I have a degree in public administration. I have over 30 years experience in appraisal, and in 20 years of that was in property taxes.
Uh-huh. Now, you've been kind of assessor in waiting for many years almost. It seems like, because when the previous assessor, it was always kind of the open thing that you ran the place anyway, right? Isn't that? I'm just. He may not think, he may not agree with that.
Well, and that would show tremendous disrespect.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
That's okay. I was the assistant assessor. I was
Right.
appointed in July of 2006,
Mm-hmm.
and Randy did rely on me to do a lot of the day-to-day operational work. So yes, since 2006, I've been doing quite a bit.
All right. Now, for people who are not familiar with the exact position, exactly what entails the work.
Well, so for those of you who are viewing, you might want to go to sleep now.
Yes.
This is where it gets boring. The assessor has 5 major functions. First, we are expected to inventory all property in the county and value it for property tax purposes. We are expected to enroll those values on the assessment roll and to deliver that assessment roll to the auditor by July 1st every year.
Got it.
In addition, we maintain assessment maps and we administer property tax exemptions.
Now, in an interesting, and this is a question now, in an era of declining property values, your job is, I guess you just kind of have to take the political angle out of it, but in some ways, as the property values decrease, it brings less revenue in for the county. In some ways. So I guess I don't know where I was going with a question on that, but it's an interesting. You have an interesting position in the fact that if you're doing your job for helping the constituents and the taxpayers of the county, in an era like now, that's not always the best thing for the county government as a whole, is it? I guess.
Well, the county sees shrinking revenues, but the reality is my job is to ensure that all taxpayers are treated fairly.
Right.
The law says that we enroll the lesser of current market value or your assessed value. So 3 years ago, we started lowering values.
Yeah.
And if that means that county government needs to shrink a little, then we're all shrinking together.
Right. But I'm just saying, it makes an interesting aspect to your position in the fact that, if you do your job well and fairly, it doesn't always, bode well for the general fund.
And that's true, and it's more than just county government. It also affects special districts like the schools,
Mm-hmm.
fire districts, the City of Angels. And so what I've been doing for the last year or so is I've been going out to the school boards, I've been going out to the fire boards, and just last week I went to the Angels City Council to explain to them what we're seeing in trends with the assessment roll.
Yeah. Now, for those who didn't know, where are we seeing trends? Where are they? Is they continuing to? You seeing them flatten out, or you can see them? Where do
We
you see
haven't
them
seen
heading?
anything flatten. We're continuing to see that downward trend.
Okay.
Last August, I sounded the alert when our supplemental assessment roll went negative. And since 1983, when that became law, I have never seen a negative assessment roll. So immediately I went out to the school boards and let them know that
Right.
they should expect declining revenues. It has been negative every week since then. We've seen 1 or 2 little blips up, but generally I'm projecting a 7 to 10% overall decrease.
Okay.
And it's a little bit like reading tea leaves.
Sure.
But I'm hopeful that we're pretty accurate.
Yeah. Now, let's say somebody has a property that has been assessed and they're looking at getting it reassessed, or you've been actually going through values anyway, right? As far as, they don't need to actually contact your office unless they choose to, right? Isn't that,
No, they don't, but let me go a couple of steps
Sure.
further,
Yeah.
because you've brought up a couple of really interesting things.
Yes.
Just this month, we've been able to put on our website a lookup function for property owners. We've identified almost 25,000 properties that we're going to look at this year in Calaveras County. And we created a table so that property owners can log online, and either with your parcel number or your street address, you can look up to see whether or not you're one of the 25,000 that we will
Got it.
review whether you call us or not.
Got it.
The other side of that is a lot of people have called me because they've received letters from organizations like Property Tax-Free Assessment.
The scam stuff, yeah.
Well, it's only a scam if they actually get convicted, so.
Okay. Sorry.
The important thing there, and the information we try to get out to the public is, don't pay them. You don't have to. We will do this for free.
Okay. All right. So I guess if somebody is looking at marking that ballot slip, what do you think are the important things that they should remember for this position, looking forward for election?
Well, one of the things that I think is very important, particularly in this economy, is that qualifications matter. I'm the candidate of the two who has a degree in public administration. I have over 20 years experience in government. I've managed the assessor's office for about 4 years. I also have a very firm knowledge of the laws as they affect what we do here for a living.
Mm-hmm.
I think that a voter should be looking at qualifications first. I think they should remember that I have been advocating for their best interest for my entire tenure here, and that advocacy even went before coming to Calaveras County.
Understood. Anything else? Any last words you'd like to leave them with? Or
Last
think
words?
That about covers it?
Sure. I'd appreciate your vote on June 8th.
All right. Thank you very much.
Thanks,
Appreciate
John.
it.